I mentioned the medical world a minute ago, and I'm going to go on to that for just a moment and say, in that of the medical world, there is science. Science is important. You were talking moments ago about DNA and having your DNA checked. That's science. But you use science and you learn so much more. If you're not feeling well or know somebody that's not well, go and ask these beautiful scientists, your doctors, check me over. Do the tests. Let's find out what's going on. Now, once you know that, you stand in the opportunity of making decisions. You can go with the Western world or you can go with the Eastern world. I say blend them. Because they're not so different as you think. If you, my little one, had a headache, 1, 2, 3, 4. You had a headache. And I told you to go out to the willow bark tree. The willow tree, pull off the bark and make some tea. Would you do it?
Yes.
If I tell you to take an aspirin, would you be likely to?
Yes.
No.
Absolutely.
No. Thank you. The aspirin is willow bark. The aspirin is willow bark. You've just done the same thing. Aspirin is simply the composition through chemistry. They've torn it apart. They've taken the compound that kills the pain, that alleviates your struggle, put it into a pill form that your body can utilize very quickly, and you no longer suffer. Instead of having to go find the tree down by the creek, pull off the bark, pound it until it can be turned into tea 3 days later. Now, you say to me, Ashtar, that's silly, but that's what you have to do. So you're in a position to realize that your chemistry that's in the science of the medical world is powerful. And the power within that is that be sensible. Use what works. Blend the worlds. And if it doesn't feel right, change it. You're in control of this organism. Nobody else. And just because someone says to you, you need to, you can back up and say, whoa, let me do a little research on that one. And I say to you, you'll find power and you'll find empowerment. And if you use science to find out that you just broke your bone, you won't be running around on crutches and 6 years later going, I don't know why I have a limp. Well, you have a limp because you didn't set it right. There's so much to say about the Western medicines. Eastern medicines are powerful. They work. They're a little slower, but they will work. You have to be patient with it. Western medicine, if you've got a headache, you take a pill, it's gone. So I'm not saying to you, eliminate the Western world. Use what works for you. Use the science. Now decide how you're going to do. What do you do with this? And then you will make a decision based upon everything. You're not living in 15,000 BC anymore. You're in a modern world. You're in the 21st century. Use the science and then make that discernment your project. You are healers. Begin by being careful of who you are and understand options.